Governor Lamont, Lieutenant Governor Bisewicz, and distinguished guests, thank you for coming down, and all of you, everyone else attending. We welcome you to come to this, to the groundbreaking for the project that is going to really improve safety for not only vehicles but pedestrians and help our businesses out in East Lyme here. Since the onset of this program, our project a few weeks ago actually, the response from the state and the contractor has been fantastic. We're not getting any complaints from residents. The communication is the best possible, and we look forward to seeing this progress over the next several years and a state-of-the-art interchange and a much better thoroughfare for our residents in town. So I'll turn this over now to the Commissioner of Transportation, and again, thank you all for coming.
Okay, good morning. I'm Garrett Euclido. I'm the Commissioner of the Connecticut Department of Transportation. Thank you all for being here today to break ground on this safety and mobility improvement here in East Lyme. I'm pleased to see representatives from all different levels of government, local, state, federal. It just goes to show how important each and every project is. With us today we have representatives of the construction industry, Don Schubert, Jim Manafort Jr. from Manafort Brothers, who's the contractor on this project. We have Federal Highway here, Jose Catalan, so thank you for Federal Highway support, as well as all the dignitaries behind me who will have an opportunity to speak. So this project really is intended to help alleviate the traffic bottlenecks that everyone driving through here has experienced for many years. We had inadequate design and a high rate of crashes. As most of you who have ever met me know, I really can't stop talking about safety, and this project's going to help improve safety for people traveling on I-95, as well as those walking or riding their bikes on Route 161. Over a 3-year period, we had nearly 200 crashes on I-95 and Route 161, resulting in over 50 injuries. So I understand people may think that these crashes and injuries happen because we might be behind when it comes to ensuring improving our roadways. And I know we have significant work to do, and I have always believed in the amazing men and women who work at Connecticut DOT and in the construction and trades here in Connecticut. And we have innovative ways to help build a safe, accessible, and sustainable transportation system. And I'm not the only one who believes in that great work. Actually, just recently, the Reason Foundation released their 27th annual highway report, and our state's highway system was ranked 5th in the nation in overall cost effectiveness and condition. That's a 26-spot jump up from the previous report. So that shows that we're moving in the right direction, and you have my commitment. We're going to do everything I can to keep it that way. So this project's just one of many that spotlight us keeping our focus on the right things. It realigns the on and off ramps to make them safer, allowing drivers to get up to speed before they merge or try to get off the highway. And it makes that transition easier, reducing crashes, which ends up leading to more bottlenecks. So right now you have to speed up really quickly to try and merge, but with that longer acceleration lane, they can make that maneuver more safely. We're going to be cutting the highway and filling the highway. We're going to be raising the elevation of the highway significantly, and actually lowering it in other parts to make it safer for drivers to see what's coming ahead. So where we're standing now is actually going to become the new northbound on-ramp as well as a commuter parking lot. Along Route 161, we're removing a hairpin turn to access the highway. We're adding dedicated turn lanes, and we're completing the sidewalks through this corridor to make it safer to travel through Route 161. We also have a PLA, Project Labor Agreement, attached to this project, which means that workforce training will occur right here on this job site. PLAs help ensure the next generation of tradespeople get the hands-on training they need to help deliver the infrastructure of our future. So before I wrap up, I want to acknowledge that construction season is in full swing. Residents are going to see crews and contractors working in all 4 corners of the state. So just remember to slow down in work zones so these hardworking people can get home safely at the end of their shifts. We've improved our highway safety system significantly over the last 5 years, and we're going to continue to make improvements all across Connecticut. We can get this work done more quickly, efficiently, and safely if everyone works with us to make our work zone safe. So with that, I want to introduce Nate Brown, Vice President of the Connecticut Building Trades. Nate?
Good morning, everyone. My name is Nate Brown. I'm a business agent and legislative political director with the Operating Engineers. I also serve as the Vice President for the Connecticut State Building Trades. The Infrastructure Investment and Jobs Act, known as the Bipartisan Infrastructure Law, includes significant investment to expand our workforce in the infrastructure industry and the promotion of apprenticeship and pre-apprenticeship training programs that support large-scale infrastructure projects. By utilizing project labor agreements, we assure apprentices, minorities, veterans, and local residents around the project. I want to thank Governor Lamont, Lieutenant Governor Susan Beisowitz, local and state elected officials that are here today for including a project like this, making it come to fruition. Governor Lamont is committed to ensuring Connecticut has a viable infrastructure and understanding that it is a key to a strong economy and future of Connecticut. Excuse me. Commissioner Euclid and your entire team at DOT, thank you. Your infrastructure and transportation vision for the future of Connecticut residents is second to none. We are very fortunate to have a commissioner understand that now is the time to take advantage of every dollar that is coming in from the IIJA, along with the additional grants to convert those dollars into investments in projects like this one. You and your team at DOT have 100% support of the operating engineers and Connecticut State Building Trades. And last but not least, Don Schubert, our AKA of the Connecticut construction industry, the guy behind the scenes that is always out there looking for everyone in the industry. Don has spent many years on legislation to make sure that the state of Connecticut has every dollar possible to invest in repairing and replacing our infrastructure. Traveling to DC numerous times, working with Congress time and time again, making sure that not only federal funding did not run out, but being the key person promoting and pushing Congress to act on a long-term bill. Over the years, there were so many of these press conferences that I attended with Don to show our aging infrastructure and why we need to pass this legislation. It's rewarding to finally be at one that has a vital project getting underway. So Don, thank you for your tenacity, persistence, guidance for all of us in Connecticut's industry. Thank you.
Next, before I call up our next speaker, I just want to acknowledge those who could not be here today, our congressional delegation, without whom this would not be possible, since this is an 80% federally funded project, really made possible by the bipartisan infrastructure law. So next we have Senator Christine Cohen, co-chair of the state's Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner. I'm so glad to be here. Thank you all. Thank you to the First Selectman and the state delegation of this area for having us here to really kick off this exciting project. You've heard it already. This is about a commitment to safety, Connecticut's commitment, which really comes from our governor, our lieutenant governor, and the commissioner of the Department of Transportation, working together with the legislature, knowing that it is our mission to make sure that Connecticut's roads are safer and that they provide connectivity to people all across the state. It's also really about matching infrastructure, transportation infrastructure, with the economic vitality of the area. We can see that this area has grown tremendously and it's outgrown its roadways. So we need to make them safer, we need to make them easier to traverse, we need to make it faster for people and more effective to get from point A to point B, and this will do all of that. We also have been really mindful of bike and pedestrian safety, and so there's a component of that in here as well. I'm so glad that we've been able to leverage these important infrastructure dollars from our federal, from the Infrastructure Act, and making sure that we're taking advantage of that. So I'm so grateful for the innovativeness of the executive branch, together with DOT and working together with the legislature to make these dollars work for us, to make these dollars work for the people of Connecticut. And certainly hearing about, the trades and how many jobs we're going to be able to really put to work here on this project. Truly outstanding. It's a win across the board, and we're so excited that Connecticut is really at the forefront of this transportation innovation. Thanks so much.
Next, we have Representative Roland Marr, the other co-chair of the Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner. Thank you, everyone out here. Again, great big round of applause to all the incredible engineers and hardworking men and women of Connecticut DOT and Manafort who are out here every day making this project a reality. I couldn't be more excited about what the future of transportation in Connecticut looks like. The bold vision that we've been able to develop over the last number of years in the Transportation Committee, working closely with our current commissioner, Garrett Ucalito, we know we can take advantage, full advantage, of the opportunity made available by increased federal funding. I'm standing alongside my incredible ranking member of the Finance Committee and ranking member of the Bonding Subcommittee in Finance, as well as my Senate Chair of the Transportation Committee. The vision necessary to build out Connecticut's infrastructure in the 21st century happens, frankly, without federal dollars, but a commitment to provide the state matches necessary to get this job done. We've known for a number of years, what we need to do in this state. And with folks and advocates like Nate Brown behind me and Don Schubert in front of me, former Senator Paul Formica, who's standing in front of me trying to be anonymous, and my colleagues in the legislature, we know we have to put the dollars forward to make these projects a reality. We've done it in the Finance Committee and Transportation Committees the last number of years. We have a strong package in front of us this year that will make sure that we're taking advantage of every single opportunity that the federal funding provides. I couldn't be more thrilled to be in the House of Representatives right now, to be chairing the Transportation Committee right now as we build out the future of our state. This is an incredible opportunity, and I'm so thankful to the incredible men and women who are making this reality happen for us day in and day out. It's an incredible project. It's going to take a few years. Our summers might be a little complicated from now until 2027 or so, but we're going to get this project done. It's going to be a long-term, 50-year benefit for the residents of Connecticut. We're going to be proud to have made this investment. Thank you all for everyone.
Next, we have Senator Tony Wong, the ranking member of the State's Transportation Committee.
Thank you, Commissioner, and thank you, Governor, for being here, and the First Selectman. Traffic safety is bipartisan. We're here today because it is critical, by the data points that we've gotten, to address this issue. But it couldn't have been done without local input. We had some delay in regards to permitting and all the necessary requirements. That is important because it has to be done in a collaborative manner to address the infrastructure needs and the planning of municipalities. I think the other critical element is to be aware of how this is going to impact the surrounding businesses. And I'm grateful that the Department of Transportation, through its portal, has created a website, I-95 eastlyme.com, to keep residents as well as businesses updated on the progress. But also, in addition to traffic safety, it is about jobs. It is about all the yellow vests that we see out there that are out there working, creating opportunities and economic growth, but also important for us to note that traffic safety is important not only for drivers and pedestrians, but for our work crews as well. So ultimately, we might be going around the state with some very exciting projects that are undergoing, but nevertheless, it is all about pedestrian traffic safety combined with creating jobs and opportunity for a better Connecticut. Thank you very much for having me here.
Next, we have Senator Martha Marks from represents the East Lyme area.
Thank you, everybody. Thank you for having us here, Commissioner. This project is huge. There's not a person in southeastern Connecticut that doesn't take a deep breath every time they're driving onto the highway, scared to death that the first thing they're going to see is an 18-wheeler. And do we slow down? Do we go faster? How do I do this? You say a Hail Mary and you get on the highway. And I'm not kidding when I say that. I mean, I will drive so far out of my way so I don't have to do that. And then when you're going down, then it's the car that's coming on, and are you nice and you slow down to let them come on, or no, you're supposed to go faster and not change your speed. It's like the anxiety is really hard. So it's bad. So this is going to take 4 or 5 years. I do want to thank my predecessor, Senator Paul Formica, for all the work you did. Nobody loves East Lyme as much as Paul does. And I know he's thrilled about this. It's going to be a hard 4 years. We're all going to say the same thing. So I'm just going to spin it a little and say, if you go on the website, on the Department of Transportation that Senator Wong told about. Like, if you have children in 7th and 8th grade that are kind of like Lego engineer kids, what a cool thing to start following with them every part of this project. I understand open heart surgery. I don't understand this. I don't know how all of you workers do this. It blows my mind, these kind of projects. But what a great, great thing to follow with your family, and how much you can learn from everything that is happening right here with civil engineering and construction. So if I had kids in 7th and 8th grade, that's what I would do. So it's just a fantastic project. Thank you to all the labor that's here. We appreciate you so much. Thank you.
Get those 7th and 8th graders started early because we need engineers. So.
Absolutely, especially women.
Next, we have Representative Holly Cheeseman from this area as well.
Thank you, Commissioner. It's great to be here today, and I would be remiss if I didn't acknowledge the great job of the DOT and first responders in dealing with a tragic accident on the Gold Star Bridge that took place last week. The quick response, I know the assessment that the bridge was safe, I mean, that was huge, and I think they deserve a big round of applause. I sometimes feel we in Eastern Connecticut have a sort of chip on our shoulder. Like Rodney Dangerfield, anybody, you're probably not as old as I am, we sometimes don't feel we get the respect we need. We have amazing tourism, amazing attractions. Today, we not only feel respected and appreciated, we feel loved by the attention we're getting to this incredible project, which is going to not only speed up traffic, allow more access, but save lives. And again, thank you to all who've been involved in this. This is going to be transformational for this area, and we feel incredibly respected and appreciated. So thank you, Governor, thank you, Lieutenant Governor, and everyone involved.
Thank you.
Next, we have Lieutenant Governor Susan Beisowitz. Governor?
Commissioner, thank you so much for your leadership. It's great to be standing here with local leaders, the co-chairs of the Transportation Committee, and the Governor. This is an exciting day, and we're here to celebrate a $150 million investment in Connecticut's infrastructure. Thank you, President Biden, for providing 80% of this money, and to our federal delegation, Representative Courtney, and our entire delegation. I call them the fairy godmothers and fairy godfathers of federal funding. We are so grateful for the President's vision that our country should be investing in infrastructure. And we're here to take advantage of that funding because of our commissioner's leadership. Garrett Eucalito was ready on day one with a whole list of infrastructure projects, and it was because of his leadership and the